today's video, we'll be covering the Arrowhead Equipment Shangri La Tarp. Prior to purchasing the Shangri La Tarp, I used primarily the tarp that came with my Hennessy hammock and then a 8x10 sill tarp that I used with my war-bounded blackbird. The Shangri La has aggressive catenary cuts, which means that the edges of the tarp, rather than being straight lines, are parabolas that reduce the wind drag and flutter. Catenary cuts are also quite apparent when you look at them edge on, in this case across the long edge of the tarp. Also along the short edge of the tarp, in this case looking down from the tie-out point. The catenary cuts and the lightweight materials result in a tarp that weighs in at about 11 ounces, about 5 ounces smaller than my 8x10 tarp. I pitched the tarp using a continuous ridgeline with a bowline on one end and a night eyes figure 8 with a carabiner on the other end for easy attachment. When fully pitched, with my war-bounded blackbird, the catenary cuts and the coverage is quite apparent. With its two tie-down points on each side, the Shangri La Tarp goes up in a hurry. In this case, this is along the Sisters Wilderness of Oregon. Also noticeable in this time-lapse video are the self-tensioning lines that I use right at the attachment point to the tarp to keep the lines fully taut. This bit of footage shows the performance of the Shangri La Tarp in windy conditions. You can see from the bandana flapping in the breeze there that it was pretty good wind. There's a little bit of buffeting of the sides of the tarp due to the give of the self-tensioning lines, but the Shangri La Tarp does a really great job of shedding the wind. Also, it was pitched fairly steeply in this case. In addition to using it with my hammock, the Shangri La Tarp has also been great for ground camping, in this case in the Grand Canyon, where hammocks are not allowed. In this view of the tarp in the Rincon Mountains of Saguaro National Park, the asymmetric design is quite apparent, where the head end on the right-hand side of the photo is significantly wider than the foot end on the left. I also used the tarp on this 3-day backpacking trip along the Highline Trail on the Mogollon Rim of Arizona.
My war-bounded blackbird with my Arrowhead Equipment Shangri La Tarp. Got it pitched down pretty close here. See, there isn't much of a gap between the tarp and the hammock, and that's because it's very breezy here. I'm in kind of an exposed spot. So I got to be able to shed the wind.
I'm not a big knot person, so attached to the end of the line and the self-tensioning bungee cord, I have a cam lock with a carabiner on the end there that I just wrap around my tent stake and then just give a pull and tension it with the cam lock.